I'm going to be very transparent as to why I have to leave early. Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up Real Estate, Friday, March 8th. I can't wait for Ryan to share his social post. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm going to share my weekly email newsletter. I was going to create a video around something Ryan shared earlier in the week, but I pivoted because had a listing come about at least somewhat unexpectedly, and so I turned that into my email newsletter template, and I will share that. I have to leave early for an appointment, and because I believe in being open and transparent at all times, the appointment is with my barber. It is it's daddy daughter dance tonight, and my guy could only get me in at 10:30, and I need a little cleanup. If for no other reason than I've gotten so much gray that at least if I get nice and tight, you can't tell it doesn't look as
you can
gray.
You can just stop. I was at my barber and give me some of that hair when you cut it off. So just cut it out.
So I literally I have about 5 or 6 minutes if I want to make it there on time.
Let's go.
So instead of starting with Ryan's social post, which is a great follow up to
the follow up. Yep.
To Biden's information last night, I want to show the follow up email, and you could. This is for my specific listing, this strategy, or this example. But if someone in your office just listed a property, or you get permission for another just listed, I mean, it wouldn't have to be your listing to implement this as I am sharing here, but better if it is. So this is the listing. This is my clients. We've been they bought this home back in May of 2020. I talked about it yesterday a couple of times this week. We just went under contract. They're trading up into a new construction 4-bedroom. Their family's growing. They got a dog or two, maybe one dog. They have a little girl, and I think they want to have another. And so they're trading up. And we got it live this morning. I mean, all of this happened in the last, honestly, less than 24 hours. In fact, yesterday's show, I hadn't got the signed contract back on the one they're buying yet. It came back right after the show. So anyway, this is the email just listed in Carlisle Borough. And I'm not doing this enough in my weekly email newsletter, which is telling stories or using case studies. Okay, so I need to do a better job of this, but this is an example. Some past clients of mine, Callie and Dylan, have been looking to buy a new larger home for their growing family. Earlier this week, we found the right home for them, a new construction 4-bedroom home in South Middleton. So I'm planting seeds for the person that's thinking about trading up or trading down or whatever, right? Like painting the picture of how we're helping clients, even in a low inventory, higher rate environment. So anyway, so this morning we got their current home live on the market. Tap here to check it out now. This all came together so quickly, we didn't have time to get professional photos. Something we pay for on every listing, again, planting seeds, scheduled until this morning. So actually right now they're at the house taking the professional photos. If you'd like, I'd be happy to send you the photos as soon as we get them in, and they'll be loaded into the MLS listing at that same time as well. Let me know. Thanks. And then PS, okay, here's a link to check out all just listed homes here in Central PA. So just a curated list. It's and that's a link to KV Core, where I just went and selected the counties that we service and chose just listed. And there you go. And I could have, and now that I'm thinking about, should have taken a screenshot of this and put that image below this here where they could click on it as well. But I did it at about 7 a.m. this morning. So R&D that to your heart's.
Yeah. And send something. If you don't have a new listing, just send a listing of the day that's not yours, but send something, right?
Yep. With that, I'm off.
All right.
To get
the haircut.
Get a new cut. I wanted to look good, not only for the shawl dance tonight, but Caden and I and Pam, we're headed out of town for the weekend. Louisville is paying for us to come for an official visit. So Giddy up.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks,
Say
Ryan.
hi to my grandma. My grandma lives in Louisville. Hi, grandma.
Oh, yeah, I will. Hi.
All right. All right, guys. So let's transition over here to the social post of the day. This one is one territory I don't usually like to go into. None of us really do. Religion and politics, probably, right? There's two ways you can look at that. You do it, and you attract people who agree with you, and you repel people who don't, or you don't do it at all. This one, I tried to just make it a comment on the tax credit stuff from last night. And all you guys can swipe and deploy this today. That was kind of big news in the housing industry. If you haven't seen it yet, the president is proposing a $10,000 credit for first-time home buyers, as well as for people who sell their starter homes. So I didn't have long to really dive into this, but the gist of it, in my opinion, so I gave a little opinion on it, is that I think it could make homes more expensive, not less expensive. They're messing with the demand side of things here. And, I don't know if this helps, but you don't have to say what you think. All I did was kind of editorialize a little and said, do you think this will make homes more expensive or less expensive? And will this really help with home affordability, or just make the rich people who currently have the assets richer? So I did opine a little bit. You can leave that part out and just share the actual information. I grabbed a link from bestopedia.com that had a nice layout of it, and I had a little more fun with it. Just a couple of extra images with a photo of the post. So definitely today for your social post, if you want to, you can go ahead and talk about that news, that proposed tax credit. Guys, comment below if there's anything you'd like me to talk about solo. I didn't prepare much content today. I didn't know Josh was going to be busting out, and we can make it a short show. I think the only thing that I might do in the spirit of Follow Up Friday is maybe take a quick look inside of KV Core, and maybe we'll just talk about how you would implement, just as a kind of refresher for those of you who don't know how to do this, but a lot of us are using KV Core or something similar, how you might implement the idea of sending a listing of the day, since I just kind of said that, and we just saw Josh do that for his follow-up. So let's just do that as kind of a little quick KV Core specific lesson, but whatever CRM you're using, you can do the same. So what I'll do here is I'll come in to the system in KV Core. I'll go to marketing, and I'll just go ahead and schedule myself a mass email right here. So we'll go ahead and click get started. I got some old ones in there. I'm going to click the schedule mass email. And then, of course, I'm going to have to pick contacts that I'm sending to. So if I have a saved filter in here, I could do that. Or if I want to just send to everybody, say, who's in my whole database, who's like an active lead, I can pick who I'm sending to. So that's your first thing. We like the idea of globally sending something once a week to everybody. When Josh is sending he's generally sending his follow-up newsletter to just everybody in his database to re-engage at least once a week. And, this is the stuff that kind of, aside from all the automated stuff, this is the manual content creation type thing, something cool that you send once a week that helps kind of people engage with you in another way, and keeps you top of mind. So I've got my send contact status. We'll just do active leads today, but generally I would do everybody. We can do something like Pinellas listing of the week, right? And if we want, we can kind of describe the listing. Now, I don't have a listing ready. This is kind of how on the fly this could be. I'm just going to go over to our brokerage website here, Forever Florida Realestate.com. It's not popping up. I cleared my cache the other day. I had like a little virus type thing pop up. I clicked the wrong thing. It happens every now and then. Click allow, and it wasn't what you think it might be. I am on camera. Here. Wait, I gotta get off camera for a second. Go ahead. Hey. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So now I will go and look at our listings right here for the company, and I'll just pick one. Well, this one looks pretty good. Right, so we'll grab a company listing. That idea of borrowing somebody else's listings, of course, it's probably easiest to just grab one that you probably is at your company, because you probably have permission to market that. Make sure you do. You don't upset anybody. But I know that nobody's gonna get super mad at me for sending an email out about this. I do want to make sure that it's not pending. Sometimes the site picks up. Sometimes we show our pendings. I can't remember if we turn that off or on, but I think we're good. There's an open house this week. We are good to go. So we'll go like this, 21,531 Beach. And I know this is basic, guys, but for some people, you know, if you're not in the swing of doing this every week, this might be good review at least, or just a good tutorial. So 2531 Beach, BLDB, Gulfport. Hi. Remember, we can personalize to some extent. So if I click the little sun thing right here, I can do lead, and then I can say hi, first name. Our listing of the week this week, even though we haven't been doing it, but they don't know we haven't been doing a listing of the week every week, right? Our listing of the week this week is 2531 Beach Boulevard in Gulfport. It's a beauty. Great location. Right? I barely looked at the listing, right? So if I took more time with this, I could kind of bullet point out a few quick features. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the link just for speed of, you know, speed here. You guys can take a little more time and do a little more, but I could just say, definitely click here to check out the pictures, price, and other details. So this is kind of a blind here to check out. We're playing on curiosity. So if somebody gets this and like they're going to at least want to see what the listing of the week is and what I'm talking about without adding other pictures. You'll also notice there's an open house this weekend if you want to pop in. I don't give the time of the open house because there's curiosity about that too. It might cause a little bit of an extra click. Feel free to reply here if you have any questions about it. And you'll also notice, so this is a simple text-based email. You see I'm just conversationally writing, you know, one per line, make it readable, and Ryan, right? And in my signature, see it says right here, include assigned agent signature. So that'll give my whole signature. If you remember, we talked about this yesterday. I have a bunch of calls to actions and stuff in my signature. So Josh does these HTML heavy newsletters every week. Really cool. He's got all kinds of local events and stuff like that, usually going on with the core content. But if you just want to get something out once a week, you can do this simple text-based email and schedule it. So I will now click schedule. Did I pick a time? When to send, select the future date and time. Say I want to send this out at 5 p.m. tonight. I hit schedule. And now it'll be in there, and then the system will send. In this case, I just picked actively. There was only 46 sitting there. But you guys, you get the point. It doesn't need to take a lot of time to do this follow-up Friday stuff that we talk about. You don't have to do a whole big fancy newsletter like Josh does. Just pick a listing or an open house announcement or something just to stay in front of the people in your database, if you can. Now, I do want to mention, if you do want to get fancy, you do have the advanced editor over here on the right side, which is typically something like what Josh is doing. He's using some kind of advanced HTML editor, either in KV Core or with other systems he uses, but you can then drag blocks over and make it all real fancy. And of course, you can save that as a template in your system. So comment below, guys, if you found this useful at all. We haven't been diving in to these sort of technical tutorials that often lately. We'll probably get more back into doing more of these. And if there's anything you'd like to see along these lines, like just how to execute the stuff that Josh and I have been talking about, feel free to reply below. Otherwise, we'll make this a short one today, short and sweet. Hope you guys have a good weekend. We'll be back Monday for some motivation, marketing, mortgage, or whatever. And as always, just head on over to the wakeup.real estate site if you want to access any of our resources, or if you have any questions, you can chat us right there. Alina's saying, what's the best email service? They're all good if you use them. Depends on the size of your list, Alina, probably is probably going to be the response and what you're doing. So you might say Gmail is the best email service if you're just doing a handful of emails a day and you want to ensure that you get deliverability. But if you start to get into the, you have a few hundred people, a few thousand people, mailing every week with KV Core to a small database is probably good. And then as you see Josh do, he's getting way up there in count, you know, up into the tens of thousands of prospects from all his lead generation. So he has actually moved off some of his weekly mailing, not all of his emailing. He still emails through KV Core for lots of different stuff, but a lot of his weekly mailing will happen with something like a get response, which I think is what he's using. I use ConvertKit. There's MailChimp. There's all kinds of stuff out there. I think what's more important than the service is, you know, the practices that you're employing, such as keeping your list clean, making sure you don't spam, stuff like that. So all email services can be good there. But start with the tools you have. So if you have a CRM now that has email in it, don't stress about finding a better service. I would focus more on actually regularly sending so that you can get baseline data and know whether or not you have an issue and you need better deliverability. So I hope that helps. But yeah, I can't recommend any others than the ones you currently have access to for now. All right, guys. Monday morning, we will see you then, and have a great weekend.